Welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Arjun Khalsa with a little bit of a cold here. I have a frog in my throat, but I'm not doing most of the talking tonight. We have Guru Bachan Singh, my uncle, who's here teaching his amazing cooking tonight. He has traveled all over the world, and I know you've been on a cooking show. You've been in South America, right?
Yes, many of them.
Yeah. So
in Spanish.
Yeah, he speaks Spanish and English. So if anyone needs Spanish, let us know. We can do some Spanish. He can do Spanish for you. And he so graciously, in between trips, has agreed to do a cooking class with all of us tonight. He just got back from Peru, and he's leaving for China next week. And I asked him, and he fit me in his schedule, and I'm so grateful because his cooking is kind of legendary. If you come to Espanola and you come to his house, he has a motto: no one leaves hungry. So even if you've come with a full belly, you've just been out to eat and you've eaten green chili and beans, you still have to eat at his house. But it's always a blessing because the food's amazing and it heals your heart. And
you are partial.
I am partial. But he's teaching us tonight this Thai soup. So I'm going to let you take it away from here.
Thank you, Arjun.
And if anyone has questions as we get going, I'm going to be looking at the screen. So I'll either answer or I'm going to ask him the question and he can answer for you, okay? So if you guys want to, before we start, if you're on, let us know where you're from and your name. We'd love to just say hi to you. And it's fun hearing where everybody's from. But everybody might be getting back from work right now, too, and just getting on. So, but if no questions, we don't hear from anybody, we're going to go ahead and start.
Wonderful.
Okay? And we'll say hi.
You know, there is an old understanding in the ancient wisdom of the East, and that is, what does a person really want to know? It's not that, do they want to know who is God and why did God make us and what is our purpose of life being here? They really want to know only one thing first and foremost. Will you feed them? So that has always been the premise of what we all do. Anytime you do walk into any of our homes here, you are always going to be served something. So there is no word no, like no to, oh no, thank you, I just ate. Since when do you have to be, hungry in order to eat? At any rate, that is our understanding. And today when Arjun asked me, can we please do something? I said, sure, why don't we make them a nice Asian soup? I've been fortunate enough to travel back and forth to Asia the last 4 years, and we do our great Asian tour on Kundalini Yoga throughout 15 cities in China and Japan, etc. And one thing I've noticed whenever we would sit down to some 15-course meal, which was 2 out of 3 meals, there would be like 4 different soups that are being offered. So our idea was to present to you a very simple Asian soup. It's actually it's more Thai, because anytime you add lemon to a soup, it tends to be more from the tradition of Thai. So it's our own version that is really simple, that everybody really likes. So that is our idea, is to make you a nice vegan vegetarian soup with tofu and rice noodles. And it's very simple, so I hope you have your pen and paper ready, or your telephone, and you can be able to write it down. But I think you will find it is very nice. You can make it in 15 minutes or less. It all depends what you want to do. You can cut your vegetables in the morning and come back at night from work and put it all together, because the essence of the soup is for it to be very fresh. And it's not that it has cooked for hours and hours, because most Asian soups are not cooked for hours and hours. They are cooked for 5 to 10 minutes. So that is going to be our process today. So with that, we are ready to begin. Shall we begin?
Yeah, and I have to tell, the first time I actually had this soup was last summer. And we were here. We'd already just gone out to eat, but we came to drop your grandson off. And so you invited us in to eat. And I think we had one meal, and then you had the doctor from Taiwan coming. And people asking questions. Oh, someone wrote, "Perfection, I love you."
I love you too.
And hi, Karen, and someone from Western Canada checked in too, so thank you.
Wow, beautiful.
Thank you. So you had a doctor here from Taiwan who had been in a course all day, I think, and you made him this soup. And so we had a third meal with him, and we all fell in love with it. And so I've been making it at home. It's like my family's favorite now.
Wonderful. Well, it's funny, can you imagine us making Chinese soup for a China person? I mean, that's just sometimes how it is, and that's what it was. He
was happy.
They were all very happy. They kept on saying, fresh soup, fresh soup, fresh soup. So it was really nice. But let us begin. We're going to start with, as we move ourselves around here, we have water over here that is boiling. And we have over here, we are going to add a little bit of sesame oil. You can use any oil you want. There's something about sesame oil that is really nice. So we're going to bring the sesame oil. In a wok, usually, everything has to be really hot. And if you ever notice in an Asian restaurant, the flames are huge. Well, we're in a private home, so the flames are not that huge. But nonetheless, we're going to let this get really hot. And I think we need to add more water over here, because if we don't, then we are not going to have enough soup for all of us who get to enjoy it after we make it. So we're going to add a little more water. And
I can help if you need any support. I'll be your sous chef tonight.
Wonderful. So we're adding the water there, and the first thing we're going to add is our garlic. Garlic is really wonderful. So we're putting a lot of garlic. I don't cook with much salt usually, so I rely on having a lot of flavor coming from everything else that is added. So we have water in the boiling water. Sorry, we have garlic in the boiling water. And then in the United States, we can buy this Thai Kitchen. It is a very beautiful red chili paste, which depending upon the amount you use makes it either very spicy, but if nothing else, it makes it very tasty. And it does not have sugar. Most Asian food, almost all Asian food has sugar. And if you're like myself, you don't like to eat sugar. So we always look for products that don't have sugar. So we're adding and we're going to let that boil. In the meantime, we are letting our oil is almost ready to fry. And we will let this come to a boil first for a couple minutes. Then we'll start adding the different ingredients. And the different ingredients we have is broccoli, tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. We have fresh sweet peppers, which are lovely. Scallions, which you know is always a part of Asian food. Bok choy, which is heaven on earth. Carrots, zucchini, rice, noodles. And we'll have lemon at the end. And we are going to take our tofu now. And we are going to add the tofu. And we are going to cook it. And in the meantime, we are going to bring out the Bragg's or soy sauce, which you will find right in that. So we will let this, we will turn our heat up, and we will start with our broth. There are many ways you can add so many different broths in an Asian food, including sweet lemongrass. There are just so many, you can do whatever you want. Fresh basil. There's all the things that you might like. So while this is cooking and this is coming to a boil, we're going to bring our ingredients that need to cook faster or cook takes a little longer. So we're adding our carrots, and then we will add our broccoli. See, simple. This is really a no-brainer soup. That's why we like it. And then we're going to add our beautiful zucchini. And in the meantime, we are going to let our tofu cook. And we're going to use Bragg's or soy sauce. Soy sauce is wonderful. It has a high level of sodium in it, so you don't need a lot. But we here also use liquid aminos, which is a protein. It's a sodium-based. It is wheat-free. And it gives it a very nice flavor. So what we will let this do is to continue to cook, and we will cover this.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Is this on a low boil right now?
No, I'm trying to bring it up to a high boil, but because the vegetables were cold,
okay.
It'll start to boil. It's fine.
Okay. So once it boils, then you're going to add in some of the other ones, but
yes,
certain ones you put.
We're going to let this boil for a couple of minutes.
Okay. We're
going to let our tofu and our little wok cook. Tofu is really nice. Tofu gives a lot of protein to the food. It's very easy to digest, especially if you have it with some kind of lemon. And one of the teachings that we have always heard, Yogi Bhajan, who is our spiritual teacher and who taught so many of us how to cook in so many different ways, he always said it's good to add a little lemon to tofu to help you with the digestion of it. So we're letting this cook in the sesame oil.
And I'm just going to jump in for a
Yeah.
second. In case there's anyone joining us that you weren't here in the beginning, we are in New Mexico, and we're learning how to make vegetarian Thai soup with Bachan Singh in his kitchen. And it's one of our favorite soups. And so we're so glad you've joined us today. And if you haven't, let us know where you're from. We'd love to hear from you while we're waiting for the tofu to cook. And if you have any questions, just type them in and we'll answer them for you.
So I'm going to ask Guru Mustang, Guru, if the camera can come around here. We're in New Mexico, and New Mexico is a very strong Catholic Christian area. It's very beautiful here. We're at 6,000 feet high up. And this that you're seeing here, this is Saint Pasquale. Saint Pasquale is the patron saint of kitchens. So it doesn't matter what your belief system is. What matters is that, whenever you can get help from higher authority, it's always good. So this is San Pasquale, and then on top, this is Saint Anthony de Padua, who is also known for his love of children and everything. And if you notice while you're looking at it, if you'll notice, this is the ancient old Chimayo style tin work that the people from Chimayo up in the mountains did for the last hundreds of years. And it's a very special kind of artwork where they hammer the tin and they give it a texture and they give it everything. And the actual pictures are done on tile. And this is also a very typical Chimayo, which is just up the road from us here in Espanola, northern New Mexico. We are a half an hour north of Santa Fe. This is also done as one of their art forms. So we have St. Anthony and we have San Pasquale to make sure we don't burn the food.
We have a couple people who just wrote. We have 2 people from BC and someone from Miami, and someone's from Melbourne saying hi.
Hello, Melbourne. And BC?
And BC.
BC meaning British Columbia.
Columbia and Miami. We have someone from Miami.
Wonderful. Welcome, everybody. We hope you like it. It really doesn't matter if you like it. We're going to like it. We're going to enjoy it. We're the ones that are eating it. So.
We have someone from North Carolina and Vermont, too.
Wonderful. Welcome, everybody. So here you see we are now cooking these vegetables. They have a few minutes into it. Then we are going to add our tomatoes. There's nothing like cooking with fresh tomatoes. And then we have these lovely sweet peppers. We have sliced them up. We are adding the sweet peppers. And then we have God's greatest gift to your kidney, bok choy. It's virtually all water. And those of you who are from BC, there is a lot of so many Asian restaurants in Vancouver. It's 1/3 Asian, 1/3 Canadian, and 1/3 Punjabi. So you guys get a lot of this wonderful food. But there's one thing we put into our food. When we cook with with an understanding awareness of putting happiness into the food and putting a lot of love into the food. Have you ever seen the movie like Water for Chocolate? Whatever the cook was feeling is what everybody absorbed eating that person's food. Well, it's the same thing here. If you have to cook because you want to cook. Cook because you love to cook. Cook and bless the food. Pray over the food. Just give it that blessing that you have so that whoever partakes of it is going to feel that love that you put into it. And that's the real healing. Look at how nice the soup is looking. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It's just so beautiful.
It's so delicious. I can't wait until we get to eat afterwards.
I know. Sorry, folks. You just get to watch. But it's okay. So we're going to let this soup come to a roaring boil. We are still doing our tofu. This tofu we're going to try to make semi-crispy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add this at the very end, kind of like, what do you call those crunchies? Croutons. But
yeah.
This is not a tofu crouton, but something that has that extra taste and spunk and kick.
Yeah, it makes it feel like there's I love the chewy consistency it has in there. When you're putting it in the soup, it makes it this nice.
Well, it gives it a body because everything else basically is water, Arjun.
It's great. And I know we're not doing this tonight, but you've made this before with the egg rolls or the Chinese, what are they called?
You mean the little dumplings? I show you the dumplings.
Yeah, which we could put some in there for people to. Siri Hari wants some. She's saying yes, I forgot to bring that.
City Huddy, come on out and say hello. City Huddy is smart. City Huddy knows we're cooking, so she says, I'm not going to sit at home when we know we're all cooking. But this is City Huddy. These are these little vegetable gyozas. They're like little dumplings. Gyoza is more of a Japanese style, but they're really delicious. They're completely vegetarian. They really just take a couple minutes to cook. So we can add the rice noodles, we can add the tofu, we can add the gyozas, and if there is consensus to add the gyozas, okay, City Huddy. Looking nice? Looking nice.
So up to now you've been just frying it in the sesame oil, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then once it's almost done, and you'd use a wok all the time for this?
Well, you use whatever you have.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is kind of like a semi-wok.
Okay.
It's just, you just make do with what you have. If you don't have the best, you make the best of what you have. That's basically it. It doesn't really, paella, which is the Spanish dish, usually is made in a flat pan. Well, if you don't have a flat pan, then you use a deep pan, and who's going to complain? And if they do complain, they don't have to eat.
I was wondering if it cooks the tofu different, like if it makes that more like kind of crunchy, nice flavor in a wok versus like I have an iron skillet at home. I'm wondering if that will make a difference.
You can use that, yes. You just have to let it sit longer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add black pepper, because black pepper is often used in a lot of the Asian cooking, and black pepper is a great blood purifier. If you don't want to have allergies, then eat black pepper. So we add black pepper to a lot of things, because where black pepper exists, allergies cannot exist, and that's an old yogic rule. So look, see how nice it's looking? It's got a good deep color. It's got a nice, rich, we'll see how the broth is. Now some people, like to add a lot of salt. You can add whatever you want. I'm adding a little sesame oil here. And there's actually another sesame oil. However, being out in Espanola, you don't always find it. But it's always nice to get this hot toasted sesame oil. Hot toasted sesame oil is to die for, because it gives it so much flavor at the end, as if you were putting sriracha sauce on top of it, or as if you were just pouring a dressing on top of a salad. You can take the toasted sesame oil and add it. Doesn't this smell yummy?
Smells amazing. Someone posted, I wish I was there to have soup with you.
Come on, we'll save you some. We do these kind of cooking classes all over South America. South America loves cooking classes. If you ever go to Argentina and you watch television, you have even the nuns have their cooking classes.
Really?
I swear to God. And you see the nun taking the chicken's head and cutting off the chicken's head and then peeling all of the feathers off. It's really funny. But the Argentinians really know how to cook. Now we're going to add, did we get cilantro?
No, it wasn't on the list.
Okay. So we're going to add our onions, our spring onions, now, because the soup actually is done.
So Bachan, someone's asking about the seasoning that was put into the soup.
The seasoning that we put into the soup, we're adding our rice noodles, because rice noodles do not take long to cook. Otherwise, they disappear. The seasoning we use is a Thai kitchen green curry paste or a Thai kitchen red curry paste. So it kind of gives a body to the base of the soup that really complements it. And we're going to add a little bit of the green chili one too, because I know you guys, you like your things spicy.
We
do. Sometimes we have 4 different soups at one meal in Asia. It's really amazing how much soup they like to eat. Okay, and now we're going to add some of our dumplings, right? City Huddy wants dumplings. Everybody wants dumplings. So we are adding this. Dumplings are wonderful. Everybody loves dumplings. And these dumplings have a slight taste of the Japanese daikon radish to them. But these are actually from Trader Joe's. If you live near Trader Joe's, this is where we get these. They're Thai vegetable gyozas. I think gyoza is a Japanese term. So I'm shutting off I think we're good on our tofu. City Huddy, you know what's nice? I tell you a story. We were flying to Paris with Yogi Bhajan, our spiritual teacher. He was teaching for a month throughout Europe. And on the way over, I said, I can't wait till we get to Paris. He said, why? And I said, because they make croque monsieur. Croque monsieur is a rustic bread with Gruyere cheese and ham, but we order sans jambon, which means without ham. And then they grill it in butter. Oh, God, it's so good.
It's so good.
And then they take bechamel sauce or a cream sauce, pour it over the sandwich, and they add more grated Gruyere sauce and stick it in the oven and brown it. I mean, it's just like heaven, God on a plate.
It is.
And this is what I was telling him. I can't wait. For 10 days, every day in Paris, he would have us order croque monsieur sans jambon. We ate so many croque monsieurs. We became a human croque monsieur. But we loved it. Until this day, I still love getting it.
There's a good one in Santa Fe. Have you been to Cafe d'Olive? They're actually promoting yoga. She has a Yogi Bhajan quote right by her phone in the restaurant, but they have a great croque monsieur there. We should go.
We should try it. We were at the Meridian Hotel, Le Meridian, in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills. And I called them up and I said, I'd like to have a croque monsieur sans jambon. And they says, well, we don't know what a croque monsieur is. I says, how can you not know? This is a French hotel? Yes. How can you not know what a croque monsieur is? Well, we're sorry, we don't know. I said, well, get on the phone, call Paris, and get the recipe. I want a croque monsieur. So they got on the phone, they called Paris, they figured out how to make it. And for 3 days, we had croque monsieur sandwiches while we stayed there. It was wonderful.
They're so yummy. When I'm done with my gluten-free stint for now, I'll go have one to break my gluten-free.
Okay, this is looking delicious. Okay, so now you have a choice to add salt or more soy sauce to it or more Bragg's to it. I don't really cook with salt, so I'm going to separate mine first, and then we can add it the way. Look at this. Look how nice it looks. Doesn't it look delicious? You know, I was realizing even if it doesn't taste delicious, we're going to tell you it tastes delicious because you wouldn't know anyway. So always make a lot of broth. Broth is really important. And then we're going to let those little guys sit for a bit while they steam cooked. And then we will add some.
And can I just add, Bachan always makes extra.
Bachan says hi.
Yes, Bachan's saying hi.
Hey, Bachan.
Bachan always makes extra because he has guests over, and this is one of the, I love a million things about him, but he always has food. So when you come over, he makes extra. So there's always food in the fridge. So it's another great thing. Eating with people and feeding people is such a great way to heal and support friendships and family and your health. So make a little extra when you make it. Share it with your friends.
I know this man in Argentina. He says, I don't know if you consider this like doing save or doing lungar, which is free kitchen in the Sikh tradition. He says, but every night when I cook my food, I make food for 5 other people. I have my food, then I go outside and I share the food with whoever I run into on the city street. I said, that is so beautiful. That's exactly what it is.
I love that.
So I'm going to take my dumpling and get it out of the salt. And we have wonderful noodles in this, so this is going to cook. And then I'm going to put a little bit of tofu on top. And then I'm going to serve everybody else their soup. So, any questions? We're good?
There's a little bit of a lag here, so we'll see
No
if
problem.
there's any questions.
City Huddy, come on, darling. Come for your soup.
And I do want to mention too, if any of you are trying to do gluten-free, the noodles are rice noodles, so you can get those at really any store. The gyozas are not gluten-free, but you can get them. I've seen rice ones, but you need to fry them before you put them in the pot because they fall apart into a disgusting mess. So if you're going gluten-free, or you can make without the
noodle.
The gyozas. No, I think the noodles are good without the gyoza maybe.
See how nice? See how pretty?
That's awesome.
Isn't it pretty? See how fresh it looks? Actually, there is one other thing you should add to this, which we didn't find. Take fresh cilantro, clean it, and then chop it, and then add it to the top. Don't cook it. And you have your nice soup. It is a very pretty color.
So it looks like there's no questions. So we had someone join us from somewhere in California. I forgot now. Carmel, I think.
Welcome, Carmel.
Someone's saying, you all enjoy the soup. Thank you.
We will. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Come and visit us in New Mexico.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll post up this recipe tomorrow on my website. So if you go to drarjun.com, we'll post it up there. And we'll look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for joining us and making the world a better place just by showing up, making yourself happy and vital, and spreading good food cheer to everybody. So we're happy to have you here with us.
So blessings, bon appetit. Thank you so much. Loved it.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Satnam.
Lots
Blessings.
of love and hugs.
Enjoy. Bye. How is it?
Poppy, you're a natural.